What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Teenager Tuesday. My name is Elijah Keck. I'm the student pastor at the McKinney campus. And with me today, I got two awesome students from McKinney. I would say they're pretty great myself, but we got Imoh. Imoh, how old are you? What school you go to?
I'm 17. I go to McKinney North High School.
McKinney North High School. You can see him on the basketball team, throwing down dunks, lobs, all the stuff.
Yep.
We also got Clin. Clin, what's up, brother?
What's up? I go to Rock Hill and I'm 17.
Both 17-year-olds. Clin, you've been coming to Hope since
2011.
2011. Wow, he is. Listen, he's been around. He's been here.
Yeah.
He serves in K3 also on Sundays. So if you got kids in K3, you probably seen him there. He's tall. He's athletic. You know what it is. Imoh, how long have you been coming to Hope?
I've been coming since, I think, the fall of 2022.
Fall of 2022. Wow, that's awesome. That seems like so long ago to me.
I know.
It does feel like a long time ago.
Well, cool. We're in this series called Summer Stories, and really we're just talking to leaders, parents, students about what God has done this summer, maybe at camp, maybe at VBS, different things like that if you did those things. And so I would love to start, maybe just one at a time, talk about, man, at camp, like why would a parent send their kids to camp? What are your takeaways? What did God do this summer for you?
I feel like camp is like a really good opportunity for you, like, and your kids. Like, it allows them to like grow and mature and like become closer with their faith. I feel like there was amazing leaders and like great workers, and everybody there was like loving and caring and like helping you stay focused into like growing your faith in God. And I feel like there was like moments of vulnerability. Like, there was a specific sermon that like stuck with me. It was about forgiveness, and like I've gone through some stuff in my life, like with my father, that like I wasn't really that close with him growing up.
Yeah.
But then like they talked about a Bible verse, and it allowed me to like forgive, like in my heart, and I was able to become vulnerable. Like, it was my first time that I cried in a really, really long time. And like it was something that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. Like being able to open up at camp by my pastor and my group leader. It was a special moment for me.
Yeah, let me ask you this about that moment, because I love that moment. Me and Kevin were talking about that moment earlier. What did that moment, because, you know, it was a very emotional moment. You were obviously felt like for the first time kind of emoting what God was doing. Man, since camp and having that moment, what has God done in your heart? Maybe that healing process, has that started to begin for you?
The healing process has been really good, actually. We started like talking more. We actually went out to lunch yesterday. We hung out.
You and your dad?
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And so that kind of moment, man, it's so cool, parents. I wish you can understand it. And one thing I would ask Imoh, you go every Wednesday to McKinney students. You do too, Clin. Why is camp different? Like, why is it like, well, they go to Wednesday nights, they don't need to go to camp. Why is it different to go to camp?
Well, I'll say it's different because you're not really around your family, so you got to hold yourself accountable. So it's really like faith between you and God. So it's like God testing his faith to see how you would like be behind, like without him.
Yeah.
So for me, camp was my first time this year, and I was kind of iffy about it because I've never been like so far away from home, just learning about God. So I'd say it was a big step for me, but all in all, it's just like you go to the ceremonies every night, and it's just like it's a different feeling because there's so much people worshiping God, and like you can feel his presence there actually. Like, I say at church, like, you could get distracted by things easily, but at camp, it was like an actual time where I locked in, and like I just gave everything up to Christ. Like, I think it was on the last night when we were like, the pastor said like everybody just like, if you need to take a step away from somebody just to like have your moment with God, that's when it really touched me, because I never like sat one-on-one and actually like talked to God. Wow. So I felt him like spiritual. Like, that was my first time crying at the camp too. And I don't want to use like me crying as like that's the only time I felt God, but that's the first time I felt his presence, like that he's actually watching over me. He's gonna like keep me safe and protected.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's across the board. Camp is just it's built different in that way where, you know, you are in a new environment. I think when you know, not that Wednesday nights aren't like that and you can't have moments with God. I think that does happen. Yeah. But camp specifically, there's just something spiritual. There's a spiritual depth to it. Beyond the games, beyond the fun, which both of y'all lost anyways. So
unfortunately, it's because I left early.
We got robbed. It's okay.
Come back next year.
Beyond that, there's these amazing moments. And let me ask you this, because there's a really cool moment. Clin, you weren't there for this part, but the last night, like the groups kind of got together at the very end. And what I love is it just kind of camp brings people together from like just different places, different schools.
Yeah.
And I saw you having moments with the people in your small group that like you didn't really even know that well.
Yeah.
I think that was cool. Tell me a little bit more about that.
To touch on that, it was like, at the end, I've been with them for so long. Like just in the 4-day span, I had felt like a friendship built.
Yeah.
Cause like it wasn't like a friendship I built. It's just like God sent them to be in my group, and I feel like the right thing to do is just talk to my group and like make them feel open, like to talk to somebody about God, and like you don't have to hold nothing. Like I feel like we were just a family at that moment, and like to this day I still keep up with some of them. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Clin, what about you? I have a question for you about camp. All right, you've been going. How many camps have you been to now?
I think this was like 4.
4 camps. Okay. What is your like? If a parent is on the fence, should I send my student? Should I not? Why would you encourage them to send your student? Whether it's fun or it's spiritual, what are some reasons?
I feel like you could get both aspects of that. Like you might be scared to let your child go, but like in the future, like they're not always gonna be there. So like it's good to like let them get a glimpse of being alone, but like still being able to be safe if that's what you're scared of. But like spiritually, it's a positive aspect. It pushes you to be better in like your faith, and then like they also have a good time spending time with like friends and just growing.
Yeah, the community. It's like you get the best. You get community with God, community with people, community with a leader. It's like it's such a great environment. You got to send your kids to camp. Imoh, what would you say? What's the highlight for you, man?
Of camp?
Yeah.
I feel like one of the pastors said that camp was so good that some kid tried to like hide under the bridge because he wasn't trying to leave. And that's really how I felt. Like waking up the next morning, it was kind of like depressing, like when we all had to leave. But I say the highlight of camp was just, honestly, it's just like how diverse like everybody gets along. Like nobody looks at nobody differently. Like everybody comes from a different situation, and everybody was just so accepting. And that was my first time going, and I said I'm definitely going again. So
Heck
we're gonna be there next year.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, last question for you guys. I always say this, like camp is not the peak of Christianity. It might feel like that at times, but it is really the start for so many people. How do you take that, that starting fire, that vulnerable moment? How do you take that as you go into a school year? What are you going to do to continue like fanning that flame spiritually?
Well, for me personally, it would just be, just walking in school, trying to be a positive person, because some people might look at me like I'll say I have an impact. Like somebody could look at me and I look mad, and like that could be a bad thing. But if I look happy, they might be like, "Why you look so happy?" I'll be like, "That's when you sit down and talk to them and tell them how God has like worked in your life." And I just feel like
That's good.
Camp is just like if your child goes there and like they actually learn something, you could feel like when they come back, it's just different. Like I just feel like I view everything differently, and like there's been a lot of trouble since camp because, you go close to God, like the devil is always gonna try and like take you away, bring you away. So I feel like I've had some struggles, but at the end of the day, that only builds you closer to God.
I feel like it's best to like, since personally I feel like I have an influence on a lot of people. So like if I carry myself the right way, they'll be like, oh, he's a Christian, and it'll allow them to like question like, oh, he's a Christian, he does this and this. I want to be like that. So then they can start asking questions, and that'll allow me to bring them to their church.
Yeah, that's awesome. Y'all have been incredible. I think those answers are great. Parents, send your kids to camp.
Yeah.
You have to do it. And then to encourage you to, kind of you talking about school year, I saw this quote. Parents, this is a great quote I saw, but it was a question about Christianity. It says, if you were arrested for being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict you? And that's a deep question to think about as you're going into the school year. Do I actually act like a Christian? Do I live this out outside of a camp? It's easy to be a Christian at camp. It's hard to live it out when you're walking those hallways. You're having tough conversations with friends, and so encourage you, man. Keep pushing. You guys have got it. It's going to be an incredible year this year at McKinney and everywhere. Hope students in general. It's awesome. But thank you guys for coming and being a part of this. Parents, remember you can do this. You are not alone. God is with you, and so are we. We'll catch you next time.